Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bella and today we are going to be reading some of my 5-star predictions. So it is literally the start of 2025, which is just insane, absolutely insane. But I thought it'd be a really fun idea to try and get through some of my 5-star predictions this year because I have so many, but I get really scared that I'm not going to think that it's a 5-star, so I don't read them. So I have got quite a few books on this list. I think we're just going to go through them, and I'm a huge mood reader, so I think we're going to choose 3 or 4 for this week to read and get through, and that'll just be a really fun idea. It is Thursday the 2nd of January, so I just also want to get a head start into my reading challenge, which is 50 books for this year. I always like to keep it low so that I don't feel pressured for myself and everything. But anyways, let's go through some of my 5-star predictions. I do have quite a few books on this list because if there's anything about me is I'm just overly optimistic. So anyways, let's go through them. First, I've got The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This one I'm very intimidated by because the sheer size of her, I am worried. I'm scared. I don't know, but I just feel it in my bones that this is going to be like my book. Do you know what I mean? So I am very excited to read this. Still absolutely terrified, so I don't know if I want to try and read that in a week because it's absolutely huge. It'll take me a whole week just to read that. And then I have Fable by R.F. Kuang. I read her Poppy War series. It is one of my favorite series of all time, so I really want to read this, and I just feel like she's such a talented author that I'm just really interested in reading this book. But yeah, I think the topics that it like covers also is like a part of why it scares me as well, the size. But I think it's just like a very like smart book, and I'm like, I feel like I need to be like in my knowledge era for that. The next one I have is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. I've just heard the most incredible things about this book and I just really want to read it. I've heard that it's really cute, really sweet. I don't know why I haven't. I'm just too scared because I'm like, I know I'll love it, but then I'm scared that I won't love it. The next one that I have is Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. I've heard incredible things about this. I've heard that it's very like dark academia, and I love the dark academia. Just one of my favorites. So I really want to read this. I think it's about like a kid who goes to a like elite school in America somewhere. I don't know, but I've heard that it's really good. It's really deep and everything, so I'm quite excited to read that. I just love those kind of like deep books, but I just never like really read them, but they're always like my favorites. Next I have is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I read Cinder by her and I really liked it, but I just feel it in my bones this is going to be a 5 stars. Like, this is a Red Queen retelling from Alice in Wonderland. I don't know why, I just like feel it. I just like look at this book and I'm like, you're gonna be my favorite. You're gonna be like absolutely one of my favorites. So I am very excited to read this one as well. Okay, next I have is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I've heard the most incredible things about this. This only got popular about like a year or so ago, but I really want to read this. It was on my 24 books to read in 2024 and I did not get around to it, but I am very excited to. I've just heard like that it's one of the best like fantasies that like people rave about it, so I want to read this. And that's honestly, we should do a count. Take a shot every time I say that. You'd be off your rockers. Next I have If He Had Been With Me. Apparently this is really sad. I've seen like a lot of people like absolutely rave about this book. They're saying it's like one of the saddest books they've ever read, so that also kind of does intrigue me. I haven't read like a proper sad book in a while, and I have got like A Little Life on my list, but there's no chance that I'm including it in this video. Don't even think. Maybe I'll make a whole like separate reading vlog for that book because it's just huge and it would just take so much time, and maybe I will do that. I don't know, see what you guys think. But this one apparently is really sad and I actually don't know anything about it. I kind of don't want to know anything about it because of that reason. And then have Funny Story by Emily Henry. Yes, I have not read this yet still, and her next book is coming out in April. That's why I kind of do, and I just love Emily Henry. She is absolutely one of my favorites in the world. So yeah, I think this like follows like 2 people who like their partners cheated with each other and then they decide to like do a plot to like get back at them, which I think is like really cool. It's like such an interesting premise and I really like that. So I feel like this would be a fun ride, and I just love Emily Henry so much. Like 5 stars, of course. And the last one I have is one that I've been putting off for like 2 years-ish, but this one it's like genuinely one of my most anticipated releases of, I think it was 2023, and I still didn't get around to it because I was too scared, and that is Alone with You in the Ether by Olivie Blake. Olivia Blake is very hit or miss for me. I absolutely loved One for My Enemy. I had to DNF the Atlas 6. I just don't know what it was about that book, it just wasn't gelling with me. I'm very excited to read this. I've heard the most incredible things. People like always say that this is their favorite book of all time. So I'm very, very excited to read this book. I might even read this one first. It's pretty small as well. 270-ish pages, 280-ish pages. But yeah, I think this is just like a love story. But it's like, apparently it's like really real. I don't know. These are all the books that are my 5-star predictions. So I think throughout the week, we are just gonna like pick and choose whichever ones we want to read, and I will keep you guys updated. Hi, hello. Yes, it's kind of weird lighting, but it's time to give you guys an update. I have been reading Alone with You in the Ether by Olivie Blake, and I'm on page 97. I haven't really given you guys more of an update, and I really am sorry for that. Life has just been crazy. I've started back at uni, so that's like pretty much taking up all of my time. So I've been sort of slowly like reading like 30-40 pages a night of this book, and yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I'm annotating it on my Kindle, and then when I figure out all my annotations, I'm actually gonna annotate the book. I'm really liking this. It's written in a very strange way, and these characters are very, I feel like they're not very common. They're very interesting, and I like being in their heads. I really like Aldo. I think he is like my favorite at the moment. I'm really interested in his storyline and how like his brain works and everything, but they're starting to like get a really good connection, and I'm really liking this. I honestly like don't even want to put the book down. Like when I first started, I was like, wow, this is not what I was expecting, but I'm really enjoying this. So basically, if you guys don't know, this book follows two people. One is Reagan. She used to be an art student. She now works at like a art gallery, a fine arts gallery, and she just like does the tour guides and stuff. And she meets Ronaldo, or Aldo, which people call him, and he is like, I mean, he's like a professor kind of thing, like kind of, not really, he's like a student at the thing, but he does like classes and stuff. But they meet in an art gallery, and their conversations are so interesting, and the way that it is like set out is so interesting, and I'm really enjoying it. I really just want to keep reading. Like this book is only like 260 pages long. I don't know if it's going to be a 5 stars. I guess we shall see. I'm not getting the complete 5-star feeling at the current moment, but we will find out. So I'm going to keep reading and update you guys soon. Hi, hello, little update. I'm still reading this one, but we're going to sit here and read and chill out and try and finish this book. I'm really liking it, and I'm really liking our characters. I'm really interested in their dynamic. I think they complement each other really well. But yeah, I've just finished up uni for the day. I went to the gym, and now it's time to read before I have work tonight as well. So it is just a very busy day, but I've got like 1 hour-ish to just chill out. So I'm literally just gonna read this for an hour and just chill and try and get a chunk through. But yeah. Everybody, I'm not too sure if I've given like much of an update with Alone with You in the Ether, but I am now 54% into this book, and I am really liking it. The characters are just so, it is very like a not much happens, it's very like character based. So if you don't like these characters, then I guess you're not really gonna like the book, but I think they're just very interesting. Like they're very realistic, like, you know what I mean? It's not just all like happy sunshine and rainbows. Like they are very realistic, and the way that like our main female character, she is like classic prototype of like strict parents. Like she's got an Asian mom and a non-Asian father, and she's had a lot of pressure on her, and she just thinks like she's just like normal prototype. She's always like rebelling against her parents. She's like, oh, everyone's seen this before. But I think she is so different. She is so interesting, like the way that she talks and the way she thinks, because she's like an art major, and so she does like work with like art. She works in like museums and like gives tours and stuff, but the way she talks about art, and because like I used to do art at like school and everything, I absolutely love. I think it's so interesting. I really like the way that she thinks about the world. Like I think it's very like me kind of vibes, so I'm really liking her. I am in love with Aldo. I love him so much. This man, oh my god, he is so flawed. Like, he is a very like kind of like detached kind of character. He's very like constantly in his own head. He's like just like he's kind of like a genius in a way as well, but he's very like in his own head. He's got his own like thoughts, his own like system, and like it is so interesting to see. Like, he's got this whole thing about like bees and hexagons, which you will see on the cover. The way Olivie Blake's puts those two personalities together, incredible. Hands down, incredible. I'm really, really liking this. I'm hoping to maybe even finish it today or tomorrow, but yeah, really, really, really liking this one at the moment. But yeah, that's basically my update for now. I will keep reading and hopefully finish it and update you guys then, and then we can choose our next one for our 5-star predictions. I don't know what I'm going to choose. And I've also been working on my reading journal. I'll do a little spin. I've been working on my reading journal as well, like just doing like little spreads here and there. I did this one, 25 books 2025, and it's on there, so I'm very excited. So these are all like my 5-star predictions pretty much. There's like quite a few on here, so I guess like I can choose from all these. And then I haven't filled out those yet. I did my physical TBR checklist. I think I will do, like when I finish all the spreads, I'll do like a little 2025 reading journal like flip through. Had these, and then I've got, this is going to be my series tracker. I track on my series, got like a little Dutch door. And then I want to do this because I saw it on Rachel Catherine's thing as like a Hall of Fame where like all my 5-star reads go into like this spread, so I can like go back and like see it. Bookshelves. But yeah, really having a good time. Kind of like doing my other video, which is my read it or unhaul it video. And I'm doing that by like listening to the audiobook of one of the books that I've got to read on that. But I'm really having fun with that video. It's like kind of like a random, like you pick a book out of like the jar, like a TBR jar kind of thing. And then you like read it or you unhaul it. Hi guys, a little update with Alone With You in the Ether. I am on page 213. I literally have like 50-ish pages left, and I feel like I've got a few thoughts. Just before I finish this and do like my final thoughts, I just thought I'd come on and just tell you guys where I'm at right now. I don't think this is going to be a 5 stars, and I am so upset that I don't think it's going to be. I mean, I guess we do still have 50 pages, but I'm just not getting that feeling. And that's like really disappointing to me because this is like the book that I thought was going to be my new favorite book. And I know that it's like kind of like a lot to like anticipate that, but I feel like everyone kind of has that book that they're like kind of putting off and they want to read, but they know that it's going to be a 5 stars. And I had that feeling with this book, and I put it off for like 2 years, and I am enjoying it, but it just definitely is not a 5 stars. I'm even like, I don't really know where I'm sort of like leaning with it at the moment. I'm really liking the characters. Again, they're very, very flawed, and we're kind of like going into this like stage where like they're kind of like consumed with each other. Like it's like they're like, it's almost like too obsessive, and it's kind of like, I guess that it does show like ways that can happen in relationships. You get like all consumed by this person, and it's just like your whole personality, your whole being is just being with this person. And obviously like there is a lot of like mental struggles with it as well, so I'm kind of like interested to see how like Olivie Blake delves into that, but I'm just not too sure. I was really loving the characters at the beginning. Right now I'm not too sure. I feel like they've kind of like strayed. I'm really enjoying Aldo's character. Reagan, I'm still on the fence about. She is a little bit too much for me. I'm not too sure where I stand with her. She's definitely interesting to read about, but I wouldn't say that she's like my kind of character. But I'm interested to see, like, I mean, within the next 50 pages, what happens with Reagan, because she is going through like a big mental situation at the moment. Yeah, that's kind of like my thoughts for now. It's time to do a final sort of wrap up for my feelings of Alone With You in the Ether by Olivie Blake. So I ended up rating this book a 3.5 stars. I know that is so shocking for the way I was reacting in the first sort of half of this book, but it just didn't, the ending, the transformation or growth of these characters really just didn't hit for me, especially with our female character Reagan. I feel like she didn't really have, which is like fine I guess, but like she didn't really have that growth where like it just seemed like a lot. Like she was a lot to take in, a lot of personality, and I feel like her and Ronaldo at the end just, they really just did not have that connection. Like, I really couldn't see it. And I was so excited for them, because in the beginning I was like, oh my god, the way they think and the way they have differing opinions and the way they view the world is so interesting, and they complement each other so well. But towards the end, it just became like, I feel like she was just like kind of like dependent on him for her own happiness. And I feel like I just like don't see that. I feel like you shouldn't be dependent on your partner for your own happiness. That's kind of like where I sort of drew the line. I was kind of like, there's been no like personal growth. I feel like she's actually gone down, which is like fine. I know that that happens in life. I just was so excited for this book, and it just did not live up to my own expectations. Again, my expectations were probably far too high, but just seeing everyone rave and review this and just be like, this is amazing, I was so excited. First half of this book, I was like, I see it, I see the vision. The vision did not work for me. I really liked some aspects of the book. I really liked the writing was really interesting. I think Olivia Blake's writing, it is always very like encapsulating. I really do enjoy it. I really like the setting, because I absolutely love the idea of Chicago. I really love the setting. I think it was really cool. I absolutely love Ronaldo. I think he was just such a beautiful person. And yeah, I think Reagan really fell flat for me, and I just wasn't her biggest fan personally. But yeah, I think that's gonna be like my final kind of review on it. 3.5 stars is kind of like, I'm happy with that. Might even drop to a 3 like later on. But yeah, I'm happy with 3.5 for now. But yeah, that is going to be my final little review for that book. I'm really disappointed about it. Don't really know what to do. Let's move on to the next book. I think I'm going to pick up One Dark Window as well. So let's see how that goes. Hello, little update. I actually don't know if I've updated you that I'm actually even reading this book, but I started reading One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig because it was on my 5-star predictions list. And guys, I am 266 pages in on chapter 24. I'm almost done. I have flown through this book. I am like actually obsessed. I just like, it is so like the whole world building and everything is just like actually insane. So basically we start out, it's really confusing at the start to kind of like get a grasp. Basically we're in this world where there's like this huge infection. Infected children get killed, but our main character, she's infected and she managed to outrun the physicians who basically hunt down these infected children. Basically these children get infected through this kind of like magic. There's like this kind of spirit of the wood entity has all this magic, and she's kind of like out for revenge. So she creates this mist, and the mist is just like slowly over the years just like getting closer and closer to the town, and the infected children get infected. Our main character has escaped this, so she's actually infected, but she's like hiding it, and she manages to find a little group. It's kind of like found family almost. I kind of love it, and it's just like the dynamics of this book are so good. And as well, I feel like it's hard to kind of like make a main female character who like isn't annoying interesting to read about, because like there's just so many and like some are just so like uninteresting. Our main character, Elspeth, I absolutely love her. There are like these 12 Providence cards. They have magic in them and you touch them and they have magic, and then you can touch them and not have magic, but magic always comes at a cost. So that's basically like kind of like all you want to know going into this book, but I am loving this. I'm flying through it. I also have it on my Kindle, so I have been reading it on my Kindle at night. night. Like literally last night I could not sleep. I couldn't sleep till like 2:30 in the morning. And so I literally stayed up all night and just like read like 100 more pages of this book. So good. Don't know if it's gonna be a 5 stars. I guess we'll find out. Like, but it makes me really excited and I'm really liking the romance as well. And I'm on holiday at the moment as well. And I actually did bring the second book just in case, because I asked my sister, because she's read this duology, and I was like, am I gonna need the second book straight away, like after I finish this? And she was like, yes. So I had to bring the second book just in case, but I do want to read Funny Story after I read One Dark Window so that I can finish this little video of my 5-star predictions and see if I actually got a 5-star. We'll find out. I think I have like 130-ish pages left. So today is Friday the 24th of January and I'm going to try and finish this book today and then get a start on Funny Story and hopefully get a chunk through that. Loving this book. I am obsessed with the cover as well. It's so cute. But yeah, I guess we will find out within the next 130 pages if it is going to be a 5-star read. This book is also on my 25 books to read in 2025, which I will also make a video about. Hi, hello, little update. It's been a few days. I actually did have a weekend away, so I haven't really been filming a lot. I think I filmed when I finished One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I ended up rating this book a 4.5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I was so enchanted by this book. I've sort of described already like what the plot of this kind of like where it begins, but the characters of this are just so likable and you're really just like rooting for them. And I love like the kind of like found family in this as well. I had so much fun with this and honestly I'm so glad I read it. It was so close to being a 5 stars as well, but it just didn't like have that complete feeling for me. Like I absolutely adored it, but it just wasn't up to that like 5-star feeling, if you know what I mean. But it was really close, so very close contender. Again, not my 5-star, but that's okay. But now I actually started reading Funny Story by Emily Henry. I'm actually on page 108 of this. I didn't film myself reading this because I had some friends over and everything, so I was quite busy, but guys, Emily Henry does it for me every time. I'm obsessed with this already. Like, I think I would say this is kind of like, I don't know if this is kind of controversial, but I'm already liking this more than I liked Happy Place, which I know that's like a lot of people's like favorite book, but it didn't like super hit for me. I think I rated it like 4 stars, but this I'm absolutely loving. I love the dynamic. I love the characters. Miles and Daphne, so good. So good. Basically, if you don't know about Funny Story, this book follows our main characters Daphne, Miles, but basically Daphne was engaged to this man Peter. She was engaged to Peter and he had a childhood best friend Petra who Miles was dating, so they kind of like knew of each other. Daphne and Miles kind of knew of each other because of Peter and Petra. They'd been childhood best friends, whatever, and then Peter and Petra actually end up cheating on both of their respective partners with each other because they're like in love or whatever. So the wedding's called off, everything's called off, and basically Daphne had been living with Peter and she's just expected to move and she's got nowhere to go because she doesn't really have anything to herself. Her whole life was sort of revolved around Peter. So Miles basically takes her in as a roommate and basically they're rooming. They're both getting over this like horrible heartbreak, but they're both like getting through it kind of together because they pretty much were both in it. But I just love their dynamic and basically like he's showing her around Michigan and it's just, it is so cute. Like they're such like type of people where you wouldn't think that it would like match, but they are so good. I'm absolutely adoring this. But yeah, I'm just gonna try and keep reading this. I don't know if it's gonna be a 5 stars, but I'm kind of hoping because I'm like absolutely enchanted by it right now. And yeah, I know that for a lot of people this isn't their favorite, but I'm really liking this. I feel like I have very like different opinions to everyone when it comes to Emily Henry. Like everyone's favorite was Beach Read. I loved Beach Read, but I also think that Book Lovers for me was almost on par with Beach Read, but a lot of people didn't not like it, but it wasn't their favorite. Happy Place definitely wasn't my favorite. I still really liked it, and I actually haven't read You and Me on Vacation, so that's where I kind of stand. But I'm loving this. Emily Henry, chef's kiss. And I can't wait for Great Big Beautiful Life to come out as well in April. So that is my little update for this. I'm going to keep reading and see how we go. Quick little update. I'm on page 157, chapter 14. Tell me why I only just found out that our main female character Daphne is 33 and then Miles is 36. For some reason I was not expecting that. But like, I'm kind of like here for it because I feel like they're mature, like they're sort of ready to settle down and all of that kind of jazz. But I'm really liking it still. I just like was shocked that I only just found that out, which is like fair enough. Like she was engaged, they were, you know, whatever. Hi, hello! Welcome to the outro. The video is now complete. We read 3 5-star predictions and I'm going to talk about my thoughts for Funny Story before we get into the final ratings. So let's get into it. I ended up rating Funny Story a 4.25 stars. I had the best time with this. I absolutely love Emily Henry's writing. I think she's so talented. I love her characters. I see myself in so many of her characters and I loved this story. This was so much fun. It was like such a fun twist on a romance. Like I feel like she's so like creative with it and I just absolutely love Daphne and Miles. I think they had the best connection. I was just absolutely obsessed. It wasn't a 5-star for me though because I wasn't getting that, again, I wasn't getting that 5-star feeling. So yeah, which kind of sucks, but I still had the absolute best time. I love these characters. I had the best time, but I just didn't feel that connection. Like I didn't see myself thinking about it like a year in advance or like a few months in advance being like, that is like one of my favorite books. I didn't see that. Whereas like for Beach Read, I always think about Gus in January. This was so much fun. I love Emily Henry and yeah, so that's my little last review of that. I feel like I talked about it a lot in the video. But yeah, so we started off with Alone with You in the Ether. We read One Dark Window and Funny Story, which were all my 5-star predictions for 2025. And unfortunately, none of them actually lived up to that level, which is so disappointing. But I feel like it's also on me for like expecting that highness of them, do you know what I mean? But I still had the best time reading them and I'm kind of like glad. It's always the ones you don't think are gonna be like, you don't like think anything of and then they're like, oh my god, it's 5 stars. So again, it was kind of like good to like glimpse into my own intuition of how I'm gonna rate books and apparently I'm completely wrong. So this was a fun little experiment. I do kind of want to like make like a next part of this, but I had so much fun and thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to see more of me or more of my reading, please feel free to subscribe and I hope you have the best day and bye!